this is a video apparently made by a viewer. Thank you to Nomad and Asmongold. Nomad's one of my mods.
Hi. This video is going to be way different from the videos I have made in the past. And I never planned on making a video like this. As many of you may know, I currently live in a country where it's not doing well. I want to give a massive thanks to Asmongold and Nomad for giving me the courage to make a video like this. During the last few years, whenever major events happen inside of Iran, most big content creators didn't really talk about it. But one of
they don't talk about it at all. It's embarrassing that they don't get into it.
Only large creators who kept talking about it consistently was Asmongold. And what stood out to me wasn't just how he mentioned it. It was how he handled it. It was how he was honestly reacting to everything. From the outside, that might not seem important, but when you live somewhere that feels isolated, where the internet barely works, where the platforms are blocked, where your country mostly shows up only in the headlines, having someone with that kind of reach just saying, yeah, this is happening, and treat it like real life instead of content, that hits differently.
I've heard that a lot of people from Iran are watching the content and they see it. No, I really appreciate it. I do.
Point. Asmongold was trending near the top in Iran for several days.
What? Wait, what? Wait a second. Just a minute. Oops. Here, let me, what does this say? No, I want to know what this says. Okay. Where is it? Translate to English. My friend, in the independent Western media outlets and news channels, no one is alone except you. Asmongold. Iran is one of the craziest and funniest champions. Iran has one of the craziest and funniest champions. They have very high views and likes, and they really watch and pay attention to you. Just click and see for yourself. Oh my God. How about that? On a quick note, he had to make this video on his old hardware and using multiple VPNs to even be able to upload the video. Oh my God.
Almost never happens. And it wasn't because of the drama, it was because people felt seen. So genuinely, thank you from me and everyone else who was watching your content from my country. For just
I mean, sure, it's my pleasure to do so, number one. And number two, it's that, you know, you look at a lot of these like things that happen internationally, and if these things that happen are inconvenient for certain narratives or they go against certain, you know, like kind of secondary narratives, they don't even get discussed on the media at all because the media doesn't really care about telling people the truth. They want to tell them a story. And that's the reason why I do what I do. It's because if I don't talk about this stuff, if I don't get into this stuff, then what's going to happen is that you have basically nobody talking about it at all. Nobody has any... It's like nobody actually cares about what the truth is or what's happening.
Acknowledging that we exist. And that mattered more.
Doing more for global diplomacy than USAID? Listen, I'm doing a lot for diplomacy, but there is one man who does more, and that is I Show Speed. Bro, like that guy, they need to just take the USAID budget and just give it to him.
You probably realize. I need to say something important before we continue with this video. In this video, there are things I cannot fully explain, details, names, and even some actions I have took. Not because I want mystery and not because I want attention, but because being specific wouldn't be safe.
It'll reveal information that could be used to reverse identify him.
So if parts feel incomplete, please understand why. This is as much as I can share safely. Maybe one day, if I live somewhere safer, I'll be able to speak about it more freely.
Don't show this to iDubbbz! Don't show this to Oh, he's not gonna like this!
I am 26 years old. I was born and raised inside of Iran, and I live in the capital. I come from a middle...
Oh, so he's right there. He's in it.
class family, nothing special, just trying to survive like
just an average guy.
About 6 years ago, I worked with my father at a company.
This is one of the things that a lot of people don't understand about Iran, is that Iran has, and you know, historically has had some of the highest rates of, you know, like women who are inside of, you know, technology and highly educated. And Iran is actually one of the, you know, we were talking about IQ yesterday. Iran is one of the highest IQ countries in the entire world. The Iranian people are incredibly intelligent. They're very well educated. And I think that's what makes the Iranian oppression so bad, right? It's because these people were on top of the world, and they have every right to be on top of the world. But because of Islamic oppression, they are basically being treated as slaves in their own country. It's awful. And the slaves to a death cult ideology. Some of them, I'm sure, would want to be Muslims and they want to be part of Islam. Sure, that's fine. But the way that they do it over there is insane. The people over there, it's not normal, you know, just, you know, American Islam. These people are fucking insane, radical psychopaths.
At the time, I earned around $150 a month. Based on the dollar rate back then, that sounds extremely low.
It's really
but
bad,
here,
yeah.
That was considered average.
Wow.
Over the last few years, everything has changed.
Yeah,
the price of dollar increased by about 249%.
And that was before it hit the event horizon, as far as I know. And that's whenever things really kind of went out of control. Has the UN ever said anything about Iran? The UN is also compromised. The UN is completely compromised. You can't trust the UN to do anything good.
We get paid in Rial, but almost everything is priced based off of US dollars, plus extra profit.
Yeah, of course. And why are they pricing it off of US dollars? It's because Rials are fucking worthless, like they're monopoly money.
Added by the seller. You might hear me saying Rial and Toman a lot. It's the same currency. Toman is basically Rial with 1 0 removed. Because of the numbers are too big, the people shorten them when speaking.
I mean, bro, if you have to number crunch your currency, something's wrong. Really? Like, I mean, if you're number crunching currency, like, I mean, what are we doing here? Yeah, this is nuts.
I start
yeah, like World of Warcraft, exactly. Yeah, a stat squish. Like, come on, guys.
Talking about anything else, I need to explain the state of living in Iran. It's hard to explain with words alone, so I'll simplify it with numbers. Okay. Since the early 1980s, the price increases inside of Iran have reached around...
Keep in mind, the Islamic Revolution in Iran was 1979. Just, you know, little fun fact there.
1980s, the price increases inside of Iran have reached around 198,000%.
No wonder they're trying to burn this fucking place down. God damn.
Meaning the money has lost all its value over time. Buying a home is no longer realistic. Even on the outskirts of the
first time
capital, 1 square per
And the thing is that, like, I'm joking, right? Because, like, their idea of not being able to buy a home is like, it's like somebody saying I can't buy a home in America in like 1960. It's like we have it easy compared to them.
Costs around 50 million toman, which is 500 million Rial.
500 million?
As translation for 1 square per meter, that's about 10.7 square feet. An average worker now earns about $107 a month. So someone has to work around 4 months just to afford 10.7 square feet of a home. That's barely the size of a small bathroom. Because of this, most people gave up on buying entirely, so people rent instead. But renting here works very differently than the most countries. In many places, you pay 1 month of rent as deposit. Here, for a small apartment, if your monthly rent is around 20 million tuman, which is 200 million Rial, you also need a down payment of 2 to 4 billion tuman, or 20 to 40 billion Rial.
So they're asking for really big down payments because they know that the contract that they set won't be future-proof because of the currency, like the continual currency inflation. That's the reason why they're doing it, basically. They're saying, like, okay, pay us a lot of money up front because we can't agree on any payment number because the currency could do anything. You see how this happens?
That money just
That's probably
sits there. Most families can't afford that alone. Everyone has to work together just to survive. At this point, people aren't planning futures. They're just trying to get through the month.
Yep.
P.S. At the time of the editing, the price of dollar went up again and currently...
Oh, no!
Instead of $107 a monthly, it's $93 monthly.
Update, guys. In the last 3 days, my monthly salary went down by 10% again. God damn it.
Average monthly income is around 15 million Tuman, which is 150 million Rial. Eggs, for example, cost almost 300,000 Tuman. Cooking oil is around 3.5 million Tuman. And
$21 for cooking oil? What the fuck?
Almost everyone is renting. You can do the math. Even owning a car feels unrealistic. A basic domestic car.
This is what I was saying before about how, like, a lot of these, like, protests, these worldwide crash outs, are spurred on by economic nihilism, basically. Where, like, you have people that have no chance of ever having things get better. There is economic hopelessness, right? People don't have any ability to improve their lives in any capacity.
Here can still cost billions of Rial. And that's not a luxury car. That's not something flashy. That's just something to get from point A to point B.
So
for an average worker earning around $107 a month, that's years of income, not saving income. If you have seen videos of day-to-day in Iran, you will see this car called Peride. This car alone that can't even go faster than 150 kilometers per hour, it's about 1 billion Toman.
150 kilometers per hour. That's like what, 65 miles an hour? It's like about 60, 65 miles an hour, right? Oh, 80? Okay, I got it a little bit wrong. I'm not used to doing that conversion.
If you want to buy it right now, that's $6,250. And because,
see, like you say, that's cheap, but like over there, if you're getting paid $100 a month, that's a lot of months, man, especially to buy this piece of shit.
Because of sanctions and import restrictions, foreign cars are extremely expensive, sometimes 2 or 3 times what they could cost in other countries. For example, a second-hand Hilux from 2008 with...
Dude, don't tell me this is going to be like as much as a Lamborghini here, right?
385,000 kilometers use.
385,000? What are you going to do? Drive it to the junkyard?
Costs around 4.650 billion Toman.
Wait, 4.650 billion? Wait, what? What?
4.650 billion Toman. That is $29,066.
Oh my god! No wonder they needed to do the stat squish. What the fuck? Billion. So it's 30. So wait a minute. In order to get a truck, so like here we have hoflation. Over there they have truckflation. So the truck is $30,000 for a $400,000 mile truck.
And 5 cents. So people either drive very old cars, share cars with their family, or just give up on the idea completely.
Oh my
when
god.
normal things like housing and transportation becomes long-term dreams, instead of basic goals, it changes how people think. You stop planning 5 years ahead and you start thinking about the next month.
That's exactly. And I think that's one of the big things that a lot of people that are poor don't really, or that are not poor, that haven't lived in poverty, don't understand, is that there is a direct immediacy that poverty creates that a lot of other people might not really be familiar with or might not ever notice. But what happens is that those people, basically what happens in Mexico, we're looking at that over time, right? We are. And so like you can't think about planning. You can't think about saving. You can't think about the future. All you have to do is think in the moment. And like it's a freeing feeling in a way, right? But like at the same time, it is, that's not the way a man is supposed to live.
Why YouTube mattered to me. I started YouTube while I was still working with my father. After 3 years, I finally got monetized. But being from Iran, there's a problem.
A million fucking restrictions, right?
No Visa, no MasterCard, no Cash App, or etc. Any type of formal...
So you can't use any type of currency.
Payment for international income does not exist. At the time, the only option was crypto, and YouTube doesn't pay in crypto. So I partnered with a company that handled monetization inside of my country.
Oh, don't tell me that they finessed you out of like 30%. Please don't tell me.
They took 20% of my...
Jesus Christ. There's no... Dude, that's so much fucking money. Like, oh my God. I knew this was coming. I knew it was. Rumble has it. Rumble does have it. I actually talked to the guy there about it actually recently. The Rumble wallet, because they partnered with Tether.
Income and promised stability. Yeah. What they actually took was control. I wasn't allowed to upload without permission, and each video had to be reviewed for 24 to 48 hours. Even changing a thumbnail needed an approval. If
I wonder if it's the government doing that. Because, you know, like sold the salt. Well, the thing is that, like, yeah, if nobody else is going to buy it, you're going to have to do it. Because, like, that's what a government... Why would they exercise that level of censorship unless it was an arm of the government that's operating based off of that? Why would they do that? There has to be. Yeah, of course.
Broke the rules, I had to pay $1,000, not real, for the fee. When I tried to leave the contract, they demanded $5,000 to $10,000.
Oh my God. These people are being taken advantage of so bad. Honestly, you know what? I bet there's probably a way that you could set up a payment company for something like this very easily. And I bet if you did that, you could probably make a lot of money without scamming people. Guess who the company's owner is? An IRGC member? I bet.
So I was in chains for 3 years. By the time it ended, my channel was already completely dead. I gave up on YouTube completely. Then I saw a YouTuber called Internet City asking for editors. At the time, I had an iPhone 7, an old Vio laptop, and rendering took 18 hours. Even $100 would have changed my life. My first payment from Internet City was $1,000.
What a fucking legend. Hiring this guy. That's awesome.
I couldn't breathe when I saw it. It is insane how small $1,000 is for some people and how life-changing it is for others. Over time, I became their editor. Gameplays, reactions, vlogs. I was able to buy my own PC, a new phone, a real setup under my own name. Because of that job, I even took my mother on a trip outside of the country for the first time ever. And I told myself, maybe this is how I can finally build a life and be with the woman I love. For the first time, life felt stable. Then the internet shutdown happened. In 2022, the internet was gone for nearly 10 days. 3 years later, during
I didn't even remember this.
The war period, we lost internet again for almost 15 days.
Yeah, they shut down the internet so they can kill protesters and they can kill their own people without the world knowing about it. That's the reason why.
Came back, I was let go from my job.
My contact says it's not the government because they all have the same AdSense ID. So strikes are shared. It has to be, they need to be on top of managing their clientele. Oh, so why they all have the same ad? I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be a good idea.
I do not blame them, but everything fell apart again. I returned to YouTube, but there was another problem, especially for Persian content creators. YouTube revenue depends on where viewers are watching from. Because of the sanctions, views from Iran generate much less income.
Yeah.
So Persian creators lost 40 to 50% of their revenue.
I'm surprised it's not like 80 or 90%, honestly. That's surprising it's not more.
For many of them, this was their only chance. Internet access itself is not simple here. It's expensive, it's unstable, and most platforms require a VPN. Let me give you a timeline. At 2009, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter...
Somebody's blaming on U.S. sanctions? Really? So why are they are they decapitating people for leaving Islam because of U.S. sanctions too? Is that the reason? No. The government's an oppressive psychopath religious theocracy.
Became inaccessible. At 2010 to 2016, Snapchat, TikTok, Telegram, Viber, Signal, yes, Clubhouse, Blog Post, WordPress, and etc. got inaccessible. At 2018, Telegram became blocked, despite having 40 million users from Iran.
Well, that's the reason. Well, the reason why they blocked Telegram is because it's encrypted. That's the reason why. They want to shut down encryption and any form of secure communication so they can watch what everybody says and then immediately arrest them if they go against the government. That's what they're doing.
2022, Instagram and WhatsApp got restricted due to the reasons. At 2023, 2024, almost all global platforms require the VPN, including Google Play and Apple Store. Late 2024, mid 2025, WhatsApp.
It's like, imagine like having the internet eroded away from you. Like over the years, I think that's what's really shitty about it is like, at least in North Korea, for example, like it's always been shitty, but like it's just kind of gotten collectively worse, and it seems to just keep getting worse and worse and worse. Elon providing Starlink was a big deal. Yeah, I know that.
Google Play and Instagram gradually became accessible again until today, which everything completely is inaccessible other than the Google Play and Play Store. To stay connected during shutdowns, I spent everything I had. I ran 10 servers for 20 days and shared them with
10 servers for 20
friends and family, quote unquote, so they could talk to their families as well. The money was meant to start my life. Calling my girlfriend costed over $2.
He normally makes gotcha content. He wants to continue making content, but the current situation's limiting him. Yeah, I mean, that's insane.
A day for just 15 to 20 minutes. Not even that much of a long call. She managed to open a bank account under her name for me so I could finally receive YouTube payment.
There has to be, the problem right now is I think banking and financial institutions are kind of like a closed system. And I hope that with Elon, with doing XPay and like maybe a couple of other companies, we can open up the scope of like what payments can be. Because like obviously you need to have some degree of controls and balances, etc., right? If you're running a bank. But right now, I think that it's just too consolidated, it's too controlled, it's too centralized, and it's too top down. And so if they can do that, I'm going to be so happy. Because these are the kinds of problems that, like, this is the kind of stuff that, these people are playing, like, you think that like, oh, wow, things are bad here. These people are playing like life on hardcore mode. You might be playing on hard mode. They're playing on Iron Man mode. This is insane.
I held my first international card. I cried like a child because something impossible suddenly became real. And my final verdict is appreciate where you're living. No matter how bad it is, you have no idea what is someone else is going through.
Exactly. People have no idea how bad it is in these other countries. All of these like people that are talking about like fascism and like how bad Donald Trump is, like they're fucking delusional.
Many life experiences that a lot of people did not have. Like kissing your partner in public, or feeling the warmth of the sun in a sandy beach, or having to party at your place without worry, and even dancing in your favorite singer's concert or in the streets. And for the love of God, if you see someone from Iran telling you what has been going on, don't just tell him to move. If it was possible, we would have done it by now. And I'll see you next time.
Man, like, well, I mean, yeah, tell him I really appreciate this video. So this is a viewer of mine that's obviously living in Iran. I'm going to link you guys link you guys the video. Make sure to give it a like, give him a sub, right? I mean, like, what a fucking legend. And so there it is, W respect. Yeah, I really appreciate it, right? I do appreciate him making this video and making sure that, we're all able to know about what's going on, right? Because this kind of stuff right now is just, I feel like it's just getting more extreme. It's getting worse over time. And just overall, I just find it to be awful, right? I mean, it's just terrible what's happening. So, yeah, somebody give him some money would be awesome. I feel like, again, like just helping this way is probably the most we can do, at least right this moment, right? I think that's it. What are you putting his neck on the line? Yeah, I definitely, like, there's like a certain amount of, like, in the back of my mind, like, guilt, like, oh, should I not watch this video because, like, it might, like, spread, more attention to this person. But, if he's going to make it for me, I mean, I think that he'll probably, he probably understands it better than I do, or at least I certainly hope so. And so, yeah, Ace At, that's his name. And definitely a good idea to not use a more identifiable name. I think that's smart. And iDubbbz have a heart attack seeing this. Isn't it so weird how they justify that? It's so, honestly, like, that was the most out of left field thing that I had ever seen. Like, what the hell are you thinking? You're talking about doing this and justifying it. It's crazy. So anyway, I will go back and show you some more of this too, because there has been, Iran looks like civil war right now. So we've got even more of these here. And so I haven't talked about, the thing is, like, this is the problem, is that I haven't really had an opportunity to talk about this, and the reason why is because they shut down the internet. The information was going away. And Trump talking about Mexico on Fox. Remind me about that after I finish this, and then we can look back at it. So, yeah, take a look at this. Oops, just a second. No, it's fine. Okay, I thought I accidentally clicked something I didn't mean to. Okay, there it is again. I just want to make sure that I have the chain of events here, okay? Okay. Regime forces open fire on protesters in Iran. Here it is. It's happening again. I mean, I don't see how everybody, like, I don't see how all of the people that are like, we hate genocide, we think genocide is awful. How are you not in the streets talking about this, spreading awareness for this? It's insane. Like, I feel like you should be doing that for sure. I don't mean it's a bad way, but it's amazing how perfect Iranians speak English. A lot of people in those countries learn English as a secondary language throughout their schooling. It's actually quite common. It's common even in places like Sweden. They aren't protesting because they're not being paid to? Yeah, I saw somebody saying that the other day. Like, actually, I think it was Elon retweeted something like, oh, why is it that there are no protests about the Epstein files or about Iran? Well, it's because they're not being paid to. I think some of that is true. Not all of it, but there's a percentage of it that is. Hey, this guy's in a $1 trillion car, by the way. If this is in Iran, this is easily a $1 trillion car, or sure, a $1 trillion rial car. Top Islamic regime Ayatollah in Iran has issued an Islamic ruling to behead any Iranian who goes around saying that they're not a Muslim. We will kill you good. Is it Islamophobic to share their own words? So this is it right here. Take a look at it. Sure, you're free. What is this here? You're a Muslim and now you want to be free from your religious beliefs. To hell with you and your beliefs. I wish for your decapitation. But if you go around telling others that you left Islam, make it known that you left Islam, run in circles and publicize it, no, we won't allow it. If you want to be a kafar, let him know. I don't know what that is. Go be a kafar and do whatever the hell you want. No. I'm assuming this is somebody that left the religion, right? You and a few others like you should go to go Muslim from apostate. Then come to the streets and let it be known that you left Islam. If you undermine Islam, religion, and Quran, we will kill you and we will kill you good. That's the reason why I push back against the Israel connection, is because the Israel connection and the false narrative that this is being pushed by Israel is something that they use as a permission structure to justify politically them going after and killing their opponents and people that are dissenters. That's the reason why I push back against it. It's because it creates a permission structure around killing protesters. I know it's one step of removal, but you can see how these things fit together, right? And this is what I said too. I said, keep this in mind when you hear Westerners repeating the lie that Iran is a Muslim country. That's why Iranians burned down the mosques, because they represent brutal oppression. Anyone who participated in this lie should be ashamed of themselves, genocide supporters, which is exactly what they are. They're effectively, these are the same people that are crying bloody murder every single day about Palestine, but they're completely okay with it when it happens in Iran. And I think, again, it's religiously based. That's the only other justification I can have to it. And that's an Arabic term meaning disbelievers. Oh, okay. I didn't know if it meant like apostates or just a blanket disbeliever term. Oh, this is the crown prince of Iran, the Shah's son. Here we go.
And I warned the Europeans many, many years ago that it would eventually end in your own backyard. That level of extremism, of radical Islam, is beginning to be felt in Europe. Yep. I remember a conversation.
And that's the reason why they're probably not helping the U.S. fight against Iran. It's because they're trying to maintain the vote of those radical Islamists.
I had with a member of the House of Lords in the early 80s. And I said, the way Europe looks at the Middle East is like a far distant area. It doesn't affect us. They're fighting each other over there.
Aren't they like, isn't the Middle East like, I mean, I don't know about the geography, right? But like, I feel like Iraq is probably like less than 1,000 miles away from Europe, right? I mean, am I retarded? I feel like it's not that far away. It's pretty close.
And I remember telling him, this is probably 1982, that one of these days it's going to be
Israel's a 4.5-hour plane ride in the UK?
Guess what?
Yeah, it's
not in your own backyard. Unfortunately, there's a certain angle of thinking here, mostly the left, is the minute you say that, it's, oh, you're Islamophobic. Do you think that
this is the thing is
people in Saudi Arabia or in the UAE or in Iran, when they talk about radical Islam, they are Islamophobic? They are Muslims.
Exactly.
Can't you tell the difference?
No, they can't. And I think this is another great example, right? And like, I'm glad he's saying this, right? Is that basically, this is what I've said many times, is that like the same as like Christians, you're comparing American politics, European politics, shit's real different. Sure, I bet it is. But that was a video. Yeah, definitely. I'm very glad to see this because it's another example of kind of what I've said before, is that a lot of these like leftist ideologies are based off of a fundamental racist misunderstanding where you think all of Islam is the same. It's kind of like people that think that the Amish are the same as the Methodists inside of Christianity. Like, these are two opposite ends on a huge fucking spectrum. And, you know, one side does a bunch of crazy shit, the other side does another bunch of crazy shit, and it's totally different crazy shit. You know, or all Asians are one group. Yes, exactly. Like the Chinese and the Japanese have a shared cultural goal. And they even do this with Africans, too. Do you really think that all of the African countries just get along with each other? Like, bro, I'm pretty sure the Kenyans and Somalians hate each other more than the white people and the black people do here. Like, what do you mean? So this idea that, like, and this is the issue, is that in America, people have, like, a lack of education of the way that interracism, like, happens. Like, it's colorism, it's nationalism, it's, you know, like, land disputes, etc. Yeah, the Japanese and Chinese hate each other. Yeah, they make now they're making video games about each other. So like the Chinese now are making video games about Japanese doing bad things in the world wars. And the thing is that they're right. They're right. Japan was savage. They were awful. They were terrible. And so the thing is, because everybody thinks about Japan, right? And they're like, oh, it's this really nice place and they're all so great. And, you know, you've got fucking anime and waifus and everything. It's, you know, everybody's so polite. Well, in World War II, that's a little bit different, right? I mean, it's a whole different place back then. Totally different place. And we nuked them and are being our BFFs. Yes, exactly. And so I'm not really a big expert. Unit 731, is that the game or is that the real life thing? I'm not sure. But yeah, those guys were absolute fucking savages. So now, I mean, I think that it's the same thing where it's like you're looking at Islam as a monolith. Islam is not a monolith. Just the same as Christianity has like 1 million denominations, so does Islam. And inside of those denominations, there are radical people and there are people who are less radical. And I'm glad to see him saying this because I think that there has to be more messaging that, for example, like, you know, a random, like just a casually practicing Muslim is not the same as one of these radicals that thinks that you should get married at 9 years old, right? I mean, it's just not the same thing. And you do yourself a disservice by painting with such a broad brush because you're fundamentally, you're misunderstanding the situation on purpose. It's great that he talks about the situation. Oh, I don't know what this video is. Yeah, if somebody wants to pull this up and show it to me, I'll look at it, but I don't know where it came from. The tolerance of intolerant. Oh boy. Yeah, I might actually watch this. Yeah, I mean, like, and here's the thing, right? Whenever you see Muslims praying in the middle of the road in the UK, why do you think you never see them doing it in Saudi Arabia? I've never seen that. I've never seen that in, like, Dubai. I've never seen them do that. Now, why is that? I think we all know why that is. We do. And, yeah, what's this here? Trump failed the Persian people? I think that he did, too. Now, I do also think that, you know, publicly, he should have never said that he was going to support them in that way. I think it was a huge mistake to have done that. And I think it was awful, honestly, that happened. And, like, this is another good example. Here we go.
There are documented health risks with first cousin marriage. And I agree this is an issue, this is an issue that needs greater awareness on. Virginity testing, forced marriages, and the freedom of women must be, forced marriage must be prevented and the freedom of women must be protected at all times. However, the way to redress this is not to empower the state to ban adults from marrying each other, not least because I don't think it would...
See, like, if Winston Churchill was still around, this guy would be gone. He'd be gone. And it would be like, okay, well, so you think you can marry your cousin? I see. Okay, I understand. All right, yep. Go ahead, you're gonna come with us. Come with us right now. You're going, where are you from? Okay, Pakistan. All right, you're going back to Pakistan. When? Right now. Yep, right now. How else would you enforce this if not through the state? Well, yeah, I mean, of course, right? I mean, it's clearly what you do.
Be effective or enforceable. Instead, the matter needs to be approached as a health awareness issue and a cultural issue where women...
It's not a cultural issue. Nobody should be marrying their cousin. It's fucking disgusting. Anybody that thinks it's okay isn't fit for Western culture. They need to be sent back to the shithole they came from. This is ridiculous. This is what animals do.
Are being forced against their will
to
undergo marriage.
It's outrageous.
In doing so, it is important to recognize for many people this is a highly sensitive issue.
It's not a sensitive issue. For anybody, if it's a sensitive issue for you, you should be deported immediately. Instantly get rid of these people. They're not British. They're not Americans. They don't belong in Western culture. Get them out. They don't belong in Western countries. Every single one. This is outrageous. Talking about marrying your cousin? The fuck is this? What? It's outrageous.
And in discussing it, we should try to step into the shoes of those who perhaps are not from the same culture as ours.
No, I disagree. I think we should take their shoes and throw them out of the fucking house. No, if your culture says marrying your cousin is okay, then your culture's wrong. It's disgusting.
To better understand why the practice continues to be so widespread. An estimated...
Who cares why?
35 to 50% of all
You know, people marry their cousin in Western culture areas, right? You're not a disagreeer, right? Do you think I support that? I never said you support it. I said we do it over here. It's not a culturally accepted thing to marry your cousin over here. It's not. And they're not advocating for it either. If they pushed a narrative that like, oh, you should not be able to marry your cousin here, everybody would immediately say, yeah, of course that's the case. Like, you're trying to create this like weird, like, there's no parallel or equivalency here. Like, yeah, obviously white people do weird shit too. They do. But to say that that's on the same level as this happening, again, all you have to do is you look at, let me just pull this up. Let's pull this up. Top 20 countries by rate of inbreeding. Let's look at it. See how many of them are Western countries. 0. 0%. Not a single one is a Western country. I've been seeing what you're saying. I'm just pointing it out. I think that what you're doing is that you're creating a non-existent similarity. To say that the inbreeding inside of Western countries is equivalent, similar, or has anything to do with, or is even in 1% of the scale that the inbreeding in these other countries is blatantly dishonest. You are intentionally being dishonest, and you are creating a parallel that doesn't exist. That's the reason. And in doing so, you try to effectively like downplay this or say that, oh, well, we do it too. No, we don't. Not like they do. And for good reason.
Saharan African populations either prefer or accept cousin marriages, and it is extremely common in the Middle East and in South Asia. The reason the practice is so common is that ordinary people see family intermarriage overall as something that is very positive, something that helps build family bonds and helps put families on a more secure financial foothold.
Well, that's retarded. If you think that's a good idea, you're a retard. You need to get deported. You could make all of those same arguments for marrying underage girls. There are plenty of rich guys that would want to marry a 13-year-old. Does that mean that we should do it? No. It's disgusting. This is the type of, again, this is third world activities. These are third world ideologies. It's third world behavior, and it has no place in a Western country. This is sick.
However, as is well documented, it is not without health risks for the children of those relationships, some of whom will be born out of wedlock.
Yeah.
Instead of stigmatizing those who are in cousin marriages or...
No, they're trying... See, this is the kind of thing, like, I'm actually glad that they're pushing for this, because I think that this is kind of a red line for a lot of Americans and also, like, Westerners, where people realize, wait a minute, maybe being tolerant to inbreeding is a bad idea. Maybe that's a bad idea. We should absolutely stigmatize this. Anybody doing this should be locked up. It's sick. Why are we entertaining the idea of these retards? I know. How far down into the family line are you okay with? Not first cousins. I'll tell you that.
Those inclined to be. A much more positive approach would be to facilitate...
Why are you excusing the American cousin fucking academic? Do I need to consult the graph again?
Advanced genetic test screening for prospective married couples, as is the case in all Arab countries in the Persian Gulf, and more generally to run health education programs targeting those communities where the practice is most common. I would therefore...
The way I would target the communities where the practice is common is going in and then mass deporting every single one of them indiscriminately. That's the solution. That's the way you deal with it. It's pretty obvious, actually.
Therefore urge the House to vote against this motion and to find a more positive approach to addressing the issues that are caused by first cousin marriages, including the health risks.
You wouldn't have the issues if you didn't have the people that did it. You get rid of the people, the issues goes away.
And
simple.
The consequences of modern conflicts and displacement of population around the world. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea that the state should be funding and allowing a bunch of inbred retards to continue inbreeding and being retarded in the country. They're a drain on resources. They're a drain on society. They're a drain on the government. They're a drain on the family. They're just basically awful. And there's nothing good about it at all. I don't know why anybody would say this, but for some reason, people think that this is normal. This is sick. It's sick and disgusting. And anybody that's advocating for it should get deported. And British people and chatters are equating 60 Pakistan 60%, 0.1% of Westerners are insanity. Well, the reason why is that, let me explain the reason why they're doing that. It's because Americans have, and Westerners have, like, a fear of criticizing these other behaviors because they come from non-white cultures. So any sort of reductive, destructive, or problematic behavior that any culture besides American Western cultures do, these people are afraid to criticize it because they're worried that they're going to get called racist. No, actually having sex with your cousin is bad, actually. It actually is bad. And if you're advocating for it, you need to leave. That's it. And so they're afraid of being called racist or Islamophobic. That's the reason why. And Starmer explaining, Bal Muhammad, a cousin marriage is specifically not part of British culture. No, he's not going to. You cannot coexist with these people. You can't. You can't coexist with people that want to marry their cousins and inbreed. It's just, it's not feasible. Like, I know people want to act like, oh, well, everybody can get along. Not with these people. That's insane.
Just been reading in the headlines about Keir Starmer making the decision to block the US on using Diego Garcia military base or any other RAF bases. This is absolute madness. We are closely aligned with America. Most of our...
Do they think that, like, I mean, why would they do that?
Our military is integrated in some way with theirs.
Isn't it so weird how these people end up always finding themselves on the side of Islamic terrorists? Isn't that weird? Like, what are the odds of that?
We only see them as a close ally and have a special relationship. And even Starmer has been insisting this coalition of the willing, which I've raised serious concerns about, should have a US backstop. So they want their cake and eat it. The moment the US want to do something and use our bases...
Well, it's more than that. I mean, like, really, I mean, getting rid of Iran is something that's beneficial for the UK as well. I mean, obviously it is. Why would Starmer do this? If I had to guess... This is really, like, this is my best guess for why. They don't want to do it because it would position the current UK government as being oppositional towards a Muslim government, which could alienate the voters that are Muslim in their country. That's probably the logical reason why they're not doing it. That's what I would guess. That's the only thing that makes sense.
In a possible attack on Iran, we say no. This is absolute ludicrous. It's a very poor judgment. Iran have killed tens of thousands of their own people this year. And if the US decide to take action to stop them getting a nuclear capability, which will be devastating for the region.
Well, there's nobody, nobody thinks that Iran having a nuclear weapon is a good thing.
I support that, and I'm behind that, and we should give every support we can to the US.
Absolutely, we should. Like, if they have a nuclear weapon, it causes problems for us.
This is a serious issue. How on earth...
Israel nuclear weapons not devastating? Well, okay, so, like, do you... So, I'm gonna pull you up, because there's always people that do this. They bring up Israel for some reason. Do you think that Israel should have nuclear weapons? No? Okay, so then why would you want Iran to have nuclear weapons? If you don't want Israel to have nuclear weapons, why would you want Iran to have nuclear weapons? Iran also shouldn't have a nuclear weapon. So then we should obviously do whatever we can, including military intervention, to stop them from having a nuclear weapon, right? Like, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page here. So then now, okay, so now you agree with me. Here's the problem, right? Is that there is an entire permission structure that's being created by online leftists and Islamists that is trying to marry the idea of the the Iranian Revolution to Israel and to the United States. And in doing so, they create a permission structure inside of the greater Muslim world and primarily inside of Iran to go after the protesters and to kill them systematically, because now you've created the link between the protesters that are trying to have freedom for their country and you're trying to blame it on Israel or on America. And so the point that I'm making here is that basically, in pushing this false narrative, you've caused a lot of people to die. It's not that deep, bro. I know it's not that deep. This is very obvious. Everybody can see that. It's literally one-dimensional. It's completely one-dimensional.
Does Starmer think it makes sense to block the US? Dreadful decision.
Yeah, he's just doing this to maintain radical Muslim votes in his own country. That's the reason why he's doing it.